right, I just got an interesting email from a guy named Steve in San Francisco. Steve's a great guy. We work together on and off. And Steve says this. It's on the topic of friendship, and I wanted to share my thoughts on this. Steve says, I'm curious as to what you think the meaning of friendship is. I was around someone, I guess you could call him a friend, recently, who made the comment that he only has friends who offer value in return for the value that he offers. But that remark seemed intuitively to me something as almost artificial or contractual. I would characterize my best friends as individuals who I was initially drawn to because they offered pleasant qualities, things like good wit, fun attitude, they're interesting, the overall goodness of the person. And while I do derive value from that, I guess my underlying motive was not what the benefit to be received by that person was not the benefit that was to be received by that person. Any thoughts on that would be great. Okay, so yeah, Steve, I'm definitely with you. I also don't see my friendships, my relationships as this kind of economic value exchange. But if you want, I think we can define our friendships any way that we want. Certainly we, well, I mean, I don't think so. We can define our friendships by any abstraction that we want to, or put it under any kind of paradigm that we want to. But I think that there are some dangers, certainly, in the way that it plays out, and maybe some unforeseen ones. And that's kind of what I want to touch upon, is what the consequences are of seeing our relationships in terms of this. And I think it's very easy, for sure, to fall into the mindset of, well, you know, I would like to provide a lot of value for my friends. That's kind of what I'm there for. I want to be able to do this for my friends and do that for my friends and make sure that they're having a good time. And in exchange, I would also like my friends to give me something else in return, right? We want to kind of have this mutual exchange to make our, so that we're both benefiting from the relationship. But to reduce or to put a value, I guess, to tag our personal relationships with some sort of a value. I mean, putting a value on something inherently means that we are we're abstracting, right, some sort of objective measurement by which we can measure the quality or the quantity of something, right? We're saying this is worth this much, or this is better than this, and here's why. And we create a value system in order to determine what is better than the other thing, or what is more than the other thing. By doing this, we can then barter. We can buy, sell, and exchange, and we can bargain in exchange for things. The danger, in my mind, by basing our friendships off of what our friends can provide us, and then what we can provide back to our friends, is that we're trying to put a measurement on something, the core of which can inherently not be measured. So we're never getting the true depth of a friendship by asking ourselves, and again, this actually all comes back down to presence, by asking ourselves what we are getting out of a relationship and what we are able to provide into a relationship. Now, I know that there's a ton of advice out there when it comes to networking, when it comes to yes, I guess building your social circle, and definitely romantic, definitely dating advice, and definitely pickup. I mean, pickup is way up on that scale. That will say, make sure that when you are interacting with somebody, when you've just met somebody, that you are providing value to them. You're giving them a benefit. Now, whether that is making sure that you're known, that they see you as a valuable person, a high-ranking person, or whether it is making sure that you are that your presence is creating a good time, so that they want to have you around because you are. You, by virtue of you being in the situation, by virtue of you hanging out with them, that you are making the relationship better. You're making the relationship great. You're making the time that they're spending great. Now, here's the thing. If that's what we measure our relationships by, we're constantly going to be stuck way in the past, or we're constantly going to be stuck way in the future. That is to say, we have we interact with somebody, we meet them, then we leave that conversation and we think, did I provide enough value to them? Was I good enough in that situation? Did they give enough value to me? Wait a minute, are they worthy of being in my life? Are they worthy of spending time with me? Then you think way into the future, thinking, okay, wait, the next time I hang out with them, I got to make sure that I'm, that I'm showing up right. I got to make sure that that I'm providing enough value, that I'm making sure that I'm entertaining, and that they like being around me. Or you're questioning them, and you're saying, is this person really somebody who's worth my time? Are they giving me enough for the hour, 2 hours, 3 hours that I'm spending with them? And in no time whatsoever, during all of that thought, are you ever actually here asking yourself if you're enjoying your time. And that's what it's really all about. I mean, the experience that we have, all we have is the present, is the experience that we have right now, and our memories of the experiences that we have. Now, the experiences that we create, the experiences that we have, I believe, are enhanced, are improved, when we can share in that experience with another person. The only measurement, really, that I ask myself is if somebody is a good friend to me, primarily. The first question is, do I enjoy spending my time with this person? Is the experience that I'm having better because this person's in my life to share in it with me, right? And then, and if that's true, that will carry on through the tough times. That will carry on through the times that are, through the thick and thin of it, as they say. Your friends are always there in times of need, and you're there for your friends in time of need. You have somebody you can lean on, right? Somebody who will stand by you. Because experiences that we have, whether they're good or bad, whether, times when we're down, times when we're up, it's an enhancement of the experience. The experience that we have is cradled like this. It's cradled in a shared moment. And that sharing in an experience together is not something that you can quantify. It's not something that you can even really qualify in comparison to something else. You can't qualify. If you and I have sharing an experience together, we're creating it. And it's beautiful that we have it together. You can't compare that to a beautiful memory that you have with your grandmother. It's completely different. You can't say one's better than the other. So there's a big danger in attempting to do that, and attempting to ask, continuously asking yourself, is this good enough? Is this better than the last time? Is this good enough for me? Am I better off spending my time somewhere else? And again, and if you are a young guy, it doesn't actually matter how old you are. Here's another thing, that if you base your relationships continuously asking yourself if it is valuable for you right now, if you're getting value out of something. There are certain things in your life right now that you consider to be valuable. There are certain things that you want. There are certain things that you consider to be important in your life. There are certain things that you want to work on. And there are certain things you like to spend your time doing, spend your time thinking about, spend your time in the company of. Those things, whether you are 25 or 45, will change over time, guaranteed. I'm 32 years old right now. The things that I like, the things that I thought were important, the things I thought were valuable when I was 22, even when I was 27, 5 years ago, have changed drastically. If I were to base my friendships off of what value I can get from them, what I think, if they're enhancing what I think is valuable in life, or if I'm providing whatever I think is valuable to them, I guarantee you I will not have very long friendships, because as soon as what I think is valuable, quote unquote, changes, suddenly I have no use for any of my friends. The foundation that I based my quote unquote friendship off of is now gone, because now I'm interested in other things. The friends that we have for a long time, the friends that, as we say, stick with it, stick by our side through the thick and thin of it, and we stick by their side through the thick and thin of it, is simply based on one thing. That is to say, do we enjoy being around them? And that's it. And there's no real way you can measure that. You can try to do that, but I don't even think it's relevant. All it is, it's just awareness. Just asking yourself, is this, do I enjoy the presence? Do I enjoy the company of this person? And now, one day, we will die. You and I will both die. We will both be dead. And we never know when that day is going to come. We could die any day. Chances are that's not going to happen. Chances are we're going to live here, especially if you live in a more modernized country, you're going to live for quite some years, hopefully. And I hope you do, and I hope I do. When we are on our deathbed, and we're old and gray, one thing, at least I believe, for myself, is certain. I will not be thinking of how much value I received in life. I will not be thinking about how much value I provided anybody else. I will not give a fuck about any of those things. What I will care about are the experiences that I had, and the memories that I have of those experiences are the only things that I will have on my deathbed. So the only relevant question in that regard, to me, and friendships, when it comes to that, our relationships, our friendships, are going to be the most important thing, I believe. That's why this is what I talk about so much. I talk about communication, I talk about relationships so much, because I think this is the only thing that we really have in our lives in the end. We're not taking anything with us. We're taking nothing with us. So anything that we've built up, anything that we've gained is gone. We're not going to have it anymore. The question is going to be, I believe, was this a life well spent? Was this a life worth living? Was this a life that I had that I can say that I'm proud of? Did I have beautiful moments in life? The thing I don't want to ask myself, and this is from a wonderful book called The Death of Familiage by Leo Tolstoy. It's a very short book. I really recommend you read it. He is an old man and he's on his deathbed. He says, and he's kind of lived this aristocratic life. He was a lawyer, and he said, what if it was all wrong? What if everything I did was a mistake? And the one thing that he goes back to and thinks about are his relationships and his family and the time that he spent. So taking this all back, I don't want to go, I know I went way out there, but taking this all back to putting our relationships on a value ranking hierarchy system. When we do that, we're not asking the important questions in life. We are reducing what I think are the most important things in life to something that is trivial, something that's irrelevant, something that we think is important right now because it fulfills our desires in the moment. As time goes on, and time will change all of us, time will change everything, the thing that stays with us is what I believe is the thing that's most important. And those are and that is every experience that we have, and the memories of all the experiences that we have. There's no sense in trying to judge the quality, or judge the quality of one experience to the quality of another experience. To judge how good one experience was against how good some other experience was. The only question I have to ask is, am I enjoying myself? Is this time well spent? How do I bring more positive, inspirational people into my life? And how do I get rid of the negative, draining people without offending them?